Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Najib was left disappointed and shocked yesterday after the federal court dealt him a double blow. Today, Umno chief Zahid Hamidi urged the party to support Najib, who he calls BN's king of social media.
Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has called on Umno members to rally behind Najib Abdul Razak. Najib is at the final stage of appealing his SRC International conviction. Zahid said Najib has done much for Umno and BN, especially on social media, after the coalition was defeated in the 2018 general election. He also declared Najib the king of social media who helped revive Umno faster. Najib has been very vocal on social media since losing his job as Prime Minister. He often takes aim at his opponents or advocates for causes that appeal to his audience. The Pekan MP is on trial over the misappropriation of 42 million ringgit from SRC International. He was convicted by both the High Court and the Court of Appeal and has a 12-year jail sentence looming over his head. The federal court yesterday dealt the former premier a double blow, rejecting bids to deduce new evidence that discredits the trial judge as well as to delay the hearing by 3 or 4 months. Zahid said he respects the court's decision and does not want to be seen as being in contempt. However, the former Deputy Prime Minister said the public, Umno members and party leaders can still show Najib support.
The government's LCS report has been declassified. This comes after Ismail Sabri promised a transparent probe and action against those responsible in the scandal. The report on the government's procurement of 6 littoral combat ships for the Royal Malaysian Navy has been declassified. The Public Accounts Committee, PAC, has received a copy of the report, according to its chairperson Wong Kah Woh. He added that PAC would upload the report on the PAC portal. On August 10th, Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the cabinet had decided that the report would be made public. The report was prepared by the Committee on Procurement, Governance and Finance chaired by former Auditor General Amrin Buang. Ismail Sabri added the cabinet also proposed that the report from a forensic audit on the LCS project be declassified pending the advice from the Attorney General and Auditor General. The Premier has vowed that a transparent probe would be carried out and those responsible punished. The government paid 6 billion ringgit since 2013, but no ship has been delivered. The first ship was supposed to arrive in 2019. With the report declassified, more details are starting to pour out, including Zahid Hamidi's involvement, which he previously denied. A declassified report of a probe on the littoral combat ship project has shown Umno President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's involvement in its procurement. Last week, Zahid said it was unfair to blame him for the LCS procurement fiasco, as the project was awarded after his time as Defense Minister ended in 2013. However, the Public Accounts Committee and Special Investigation Committee on Public Governance, Procurement and Finance clearly shows that Zahid was involved in the early stages of the project. The proof comes in the form of a letter sent by Busted Naval Shipyard in 2010 to Zahid, who was the Defense Minister, asking for a letter of intent on the LCS project. Then BNS Managing Director Ahmad Ramli Muhammad Noor, who is also a former Navy chief, said in the letter that the company had been planning the LCS project for 2 years. However, Ramli said they now needed the letter to convince original equipment manufacturers that the project has the government's mandate and consent. Acting on the BNS letter, Zahid jotted on the top right corner of the letter, SUB Perolehan, Sila Laksanakan, or in English, Procurement Division Head, please execute. On October 15th that year, the Defense Ministry issued a letter to BNS, which remarked that further discussions between the minister and the company needed to be held on several matters, including technical terms and pricing. Then, on February 11, 2011, the Defense Ministry requested permission from the Finance Ministry that the procurement be done via direct negotiation with BNS. According to the report, BNS had actually been trying to get a letter of intent from the government since 2008 after having discussions with the then Defense Minister Najib Abdul Razak. Similar to Zahid, the Defense Ministry under Najib had also requested for the Finance Ministry to issue an LOI to BNS on January 15, 2008. It is unclear why the LOI request was not approved, but the report stated that BNS continued to engage Najib until June 2009. More bad news for the owner of Crackhouse Comedy Club after DBKL decided to blacklist him for life.
Crackhouse Comedy Club owner Rizal Van Gazel has been blacklisted for life from registering a business license in Kuala Lumpur. Deputy Federal Territories Minister Jalaluddin Alias also said the Kuala Lumpur City Hall has decided to cancel the comedy club's license. According to Berita Harian, Jalaluddin said this means the owner cannot register any businesses in the city, even if he uses another name and company. He added that DBKL is monitoring several clubs suspected of similar activities around the capital. Crackhouse came under heavy scrutiny recently over controversial performances that touched on Islam, which saw a woman and a boyfriend arrested. Rizal later landed in hot water too when several old videos of his own performances resurfaced. He was arrested on July 14th and remanded. Several days later, the comedy club in Taman Tun Dr. Ismail, Kuala Lumpur was vandalized and Rizal received a death threat sent through his wife. Police believe the two incidents were connected. Rizal faces 3 charges under Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act. Malaysia Kini has contacted the comedy club for comment.
Umno isn't too happy about a past leader linking the BN party to the LCS scandal. However, this was before the report was declassified.
Umno Youth has accused past youth chief Ahmad Fadli Shari of unfairly linking the BN party to the littoral combat ship scandal. In a statement, Umno Youth Communications Director Syed Muhammad Johan Rizal said Fadli was trying to create a negative image of Umno. Johan pointed out that Umno was never mentioned in the Public Accounts Committee's investigation report on the matter. Johan added that as a member of the PAC, the past leader should be aware that the report never stated that there was wrongdoing involving Umno ministers or leaders. 2 days ago, Fadli had publicly complained about being criticized by supporters from a certain party over his views on the LCS controversy. Johan also said Fadli was being ungentlemanly by intentionally implying that Umno was involved with the controversy. Yesterday, former high-ranking officer of Boosted Naval Shipyard, Ahmad Ramli Muhammad Noor, was charged with criminal breach of trust at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. BNS was the contractor tasked to build 6 littoral combat ships for the Royal Malaysian Navy.
With Dewan Negara having a chance to discuss the ship scandal, a lawmaker is calling for Dewan Rakyat to do the same.
Why hasn't the Dewan Rakyat reconvened to debate the littoral combat ship scandal? This is the question raised by Bukit Mertajam MP Stephen Sim. This comes after Dewan Negara Speaker Rais Yatim last week allowed a motion to debate the PAC report on the 9 billion ringgit LCS scandal. Sim congratulated Rais and the members of the Upper House for dignifying the Upper House as a place to raise issues of interest to the Rakyat. The Lower House has just taken a break following a 3-week session early this month. It is not due to reconvene until late October, when it is scheduled to meet from October 26th to December 15th. According to Sim, the 3 main conditions for allowing the motion are: firstly, that it is regarding a certain or specific matter; secondly, that it is of public interest as it involves national security; and lastly, that the debate on the matter needs to be expedited. The LCS project is a 9 billion ringgit contract to procure 6 combat ships for the Navy, which was initiated in 2011. But with 0 results to date, despite the government already having paid out 6 billion ringgit.
The law on political funding currently being drafted by the government could change how politicians handle money. However, it'll take some time before it can be implemented.
Minister in charge of Parliament and Law, Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, said there will be more transparency once a new law to regulate political contributions is in place. According to the Star, he said there will be no more stacks of cash in the cellars or tunnels once the country has the law on political funding. Wan Junaidi said the government aims to table the new bill when the Dewan Rakyat convenes its 3rd meeting of the year this October. He added that the government aims to pass the bill within 3 weeks. The National Centre of Governance, Integrity and Anti-Corruption is currently drafting the bill. It is at a very early stage where several proposals are being considered, including a proposal for a federal fund to be used by political parties. Other proposals include barring government-linked companies from seeking government contracts and permits, as well as making it illegal for foreign governments to make political donations. Wajiradi predicted that the new law can be enforced as early as December, but implementation would unlikely be immediate. He said the UK took 5 years to pass its political funding laws and another 5 years to implement them.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.